My name is Emily, and I help guide people towards living a life of purpose. I primarily focus on connecting with the spiritual realm by channeling the divine wisdom and insights that will illuminate my clients' unique journey and their path. So, today I wanted to do something a little different. Normally, I like to get a channeled message or connect with spirit and have some wisdom that I like to share with you. But today, I want to help us all explore on how we can find resilience when healing in the middle of grief. You see, last week, many of you know, many of you don't. I had to actually put my 18-year-old dog down, and this healing process over the last week and a half has been pretty intense for me. And I really debated whether or not to share this with you today. However, I've been hearing a lot of you talking about going through some grief. You're in the middle of a dark night of the soul. You're in the middle of, you've lost someone, you've lost a job, you've lost a relationship, you've lost something that you love, you've lost a way of your life, and now you're learning how to, you're thinking differently, you're approaching life differently. So I just thought, after I had to put Fritzy down, my spirit team, they kept telling me for like 2 or 3 nights, please document your grief process. You need to document this. This is important. People need to hear what you went through, how you're going through it. It's going to help others. So I have been documenting it, and it's fascinating. It's very cathartic, one, to journal my process, journal my feelings for Fritz and how much I loved him and I still love him, but the quirky things he did, the enduring things he did, I just really took time to just get lost in my journal. And then that's one thing I would recommend, whether again it's a loss of a loved one or a job. It's just taking time to self-reflect and getting lost into your words. It's really been impactful for me. But what I want to share is, as a spiritual medium, I know there's no such thing as death. I know Fritzy's here. I know I could talk to him anytime I want. However, I'm choosing to let him rest. This transition is fairly new for him, and I just want to allow him to go through the transition, and do what he needs to do right now. But I know I can talk to him at any moment. But things have changed for me, and I miss him. I miss having him around. I've worked from home for years, and since the age of 30, I've always had a dog. So it's 18 years without having a dog, and now I'm working from home and I'm alone. I always had an animal I could take care of in the middle of the day, hang out with, take a break, go for a walk, whatever it may be. And now it's like readjusting to a life without having a pet. So there is a loss, and there is an adjustment. There is a transformation that is happening. And so I know, again, many of you right now are going through a dark night of the soul, and me losing Fritz is one for me as well. And what it is waking up to a new way of thinking, waking up to a new way of doing things, and finding peace in this transition. So today, what I want to share is just 3 tips. I have many things that have come up, just as these are bullet points for me that I've jotted down over the last few days. But 3 things that have that I want to share with you on what's helped me get through some of the toughest moments, because the first 42 72 was at 48 72 hours were by far the most challenging. I didn't feel like a person. I'm starting to feel like there's more circulation back in my body. I can function, I can talk. Last week I wouldn't have even been able to do a video, and so I'm getting my feet back under me, I'm getting my equilibrium back, and I'm in a position that I can share this with you. So if you are going through something right now, my heart definitely goes out to you. And I do believe that there's resources out there. I am not a therapist. Again, I just want to make that clear. This is for conversation only. This is my experience of what has helped me. It may or may not help you. I also just have a resource in the description below of an 800 number of grief resource. So if you are in the middle of grief and you cannot see the light of day, please call that 800 number down below for help. Um, there is help out there for you. So, what happens when we have this loss and there's this change in how we think? Then the universe will start to, this like the universe opens a door for things in our life to shift. And when things are shifting in our life, we can choose to lean into them or not. And the leaning into the shift is trusting without knowing, essentially, that there's a bigger plan here for you. There is something more here for you. Now, that is the right way, right brain thinking is it's trusting without boundaries. It's trusting and knowing that there is something more. Grief comes from the left side of the brain. And the left side of the brain is conditioned on separation. So when we are grieving, we are fully operating the left side of the brain, and it's learning how to find a little balance to ease the grief, not mask it, but ease it. Because if you're so heavy-handed on and grieving, it's really hard to navigate moving forward, at least for me. I always honor and allow myself to fully grieve. If those waves of emotions show up, I do not stuff them down. I don't care if I'm in public. Stuffing them down keeps them in my body, and it's only going to come up with more fierce energy in the future. So I am 100% present when I do grieve. So what I want to share with you in the last week of losing Fritz, a few things I noticed. Comparison of grief experiences. This was an interesting lesson. So I lost my dog Buster about 2 years ago, actually just less than 2 years ago. And he was my soulmate. I absolutely adored him. And when Fritzy passed, I noticed I was like trying to grieve both dogs. You know, a lot of the old grief of Buster came forward, and the fresh grief of Fritz was there, and I had to literally compartmentalize my grieving experiences, and I had to share with my sweet Buster, honey, I love you so much, and I'm here for you, but I need to grieve Fritz because my heart can't handle both at this moment. It's too much for me. And so I had to literally compartmentalize and be able to just focus 100% on Fritz. I still am. I still am 100% focused on Fritz and not on Buster at this moment. I've grieved Buster over the last few years, and I'm still grieving him, but my heart is freshly wounded right now with Fritz. So that's one thing is not comparison. I know I said comparison. I meant compartmentalize. Compartmentalize your grief. Number 2, ask for help. Something I've noticed, and this is just in human nature. People don't know how or what to say when somebody's in the middle of grief. They just don't. So if you're in the middle of grieving, any sort of loss, doesn't matter, and you need help, ask for it. Don't hold back. Very few people they're going to send their love and their prayers and their wishes, well wishes to you. Very few are going to step forward and say, how are you doing? How can I help? And some may not even, because they just don't know how. They don't know what to say. They're scared, and that's okay. I've been there. But to be able to know that you have certain safe people you can reach out to and just say, hey, I need some help right now. I need help. I can't think clearly. Can I just talk? Whatever it is, there are people there that will be there for you, and ask for them. So number 3 is also be kind to yourself. One thing I noticed is the first 5 days, I couldn't even think clearly. I would leave the house without my purse. I would leave the house without my cell phone and my sunglasses. I would just like wander out thinking, I had everything together as I normally do, and I didn't. So slowing down and being kind to yourself and just allowing, being okay that you don't think clearly. Just, I was okay that I didn't think clearly. I was okay that I forgot stuff. Um, and that's, I think that was a really important thing for me. So I don't want to overwhelm this video with a bunch of other, because I literally, these are just my bullet points. These aren't even the writing I've done. I have a ton of bullet points here of things that came up for me and how I was working through them. So I may do additional parts on this. But just in those three things, learning how to compartmentalize your grief, the loss of loved ones previous, or the loss of other, again, it could be a job, it could be a relationship, whatever it may be for you, asking for help, and then also being kind to yourself during this time. Understanding that grief is coming from the left side of your brain. That's the logical side. That's the side that wants to be connected. The right side, there's limitless potential out there. You're okay with the unknown. So understanding that, and understanding through breath work, you can actually connect the two brains and bring some harmony, which will help bring some relief as you're in the middle of grief. So that is a really important tool that I highly recommend, is just taking time. And then the breath work, what I personally do, I like this heart breath, where I will envision like I am breathing in for a count of 4 into my heart, and then breathing out for a count of 4 out of my heart. And so I'm breathing in love and comfort, and I'm breathing out any excess grief that is holding me back. So I will do that for any time, from like in the middle of the day, I only have 30 seconds. I will do it for 30 seconds. If I have more time in the morning or in the evening, I will take the time to do that, just to really reconnect with myself, know where I'm at, being centered in my body, so that I can continue to move forward. So again, I am not a therapist. This is something I'm sharing just from my own experience, and I want to just help however I can, as I know many of you are going through a dark night of the soul right now, and there is a lot of pain and grief in losing something that you've been attached to, whether again it's a job or a pet or a loved one, a relationship, and learning how to release that loss in a healthy way for you, as well as being learning how to live life this new way. I do know that we are in a transition with the world, and there's a lot going on. So these are tips just to help us through what we have facing right now, is all of our lives are changing. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you do have any questions, just post them below, as well as the 800 number for the grief hotline is below. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, support me. And if you want more of my grief tips, I would be happy to do another part to this. Just let me know below that you're interested in more tips of what I've been doing and what I've noticed that has helped me. I hope that's helpful for you, and you be blessed.